Ever hear the term nocturnal tourist? Maybe not. I made it up a few years ago to describe visiting wild places at night under the full moon. Our next backpacking destination is in Joshua Tree National Park, one of the loveliest places to spend a moonlit night. So, be sure to bring a headlamp, but you may not need it. Our hike begins from this dirt parking lot just off the grandly named Park Boulevard. Directions to the trailhead are in the description. Conveniently, there's an outhouse next to the trailhead. The route starts off nearly level and stays that way for more than 2 miles. On the way to the campsite, we will gain a mere 335 feet. Oh, hello. Pardon for the interruption. You may have noticed by this point that this documentary is composed entirely of still photographs. That's because the National Park Service recently instituted rules that, whether deliberate or not, have effectively barred YouTube content creators from shooting video inside national parks. I've included more details in the description. However, for some reason, they still allow still photography. So, now you know. I'm just following the rules. There's something so appealing to me about hiking in the desert. It's the uncluttered nature of the landscape. Not only are you free to wander about wherever you want without having to stumble through thick forest, but it's also the illusion of infinity all around you. During the day, the distance your eyes can scan is measured in tens of miles. And, as we'll soon see, at night, that distance is measured in tens of light years. The desert is simple, stark, and sublime. Now, while we ponder this perspective, we pass spur trails to popular rock climbing spots, continue on the wide Boy Scout Trail. And after 1.2 miles, you'll come to the Willow Hole Trail that takes day hikers to the aptly named Wonderland of Rocks. Some other time, we veered to the left. About a mile or so later, the trail climbs slightly through boulders and then descends into a wash. Four miles from the trailhead, we come to this junction. Head straight. It's less than half a mile to the camp. Speaking of that, you will no doubt notice along the way signs for designated campsites, of which there are 10 near the Boy Scout Trail. These are the only legal places to camp, and they're spaced far enough apart that you should have no problem feeling like you're the only people for miles. Finally, we come to our reserved spot, the last one on the trail. There is one inconvenience when backpacking in the desert. Generally speaking, no water. The general rule is to bring with you 1 gallon of water per person per day. Yikes! Because this was a short winter hike and cooler, we went with 1 gallon per night. Now, if you try this trip in warmer weather, you will sweat out a lot of liquid. So definitely bring lots of water. Bottom line, people have died out here, not because of starvation, but because of dehydration. As I promised, we're here for the full moon. And it doesn't disappoint. As the moon rises, the campsite is bathed in ethereal, soft light. The boulders seem less jagged, smoother. The Joshua trees, not quite so sinister as they are in the day. The mystic light is bright enough to walk about without a flashlight, but bring one just in case. You know, given how the moonlit nights occur just a few days each month, it makes being a nocturnal tourist a revelatory experience. Look up and remember that we came from stardust. We're just as magical as the universe. Morning, and back to the comparatively dull daylight. We have less than a 5-mile return to the trailhead with a bit more elevation gain than the day before. And remember to conserve enough water to get you safely back to your car. And if you enjoyed this documentary, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. You can expect a new hike each week. And in the meantime, don't get lost.